Hey all, what's up everybody? This is Tim with today's SE. I hope wherever you're at, you're doing awesome, and thanks so much for watching. So today, I want to talk to you about one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal when it comes to achieving any goal or dream or vision that you have set for yourself. We're in 2017. Hopefully you got your goals up and running, and you are making progress. So the tool that I want to put in your toolbox and remind you of is a tool of being single-minded. So what does that mean? Well, when we're single-minded, it means that we are focused almost exclusively as to where we want to go. We're not looking in the rearview mirror at our past. We're not looking to the left or right at the obstacles or the challenges that come up. We've got a destination in mind, and that's where we're going. And come hell or high water, we're going to go there. And we know that even if we don't make it, we at least are focused on where we want to go, and we are not being pulled off of that. It's almost like a bulldog. You know, a bulldog has a nose that's slanted back so that it can bite and breathe at the same time. And that's the way single-mindedness is. It reaches out, it grabs hold of what it wants, and it refuses to let go. It refuses to be distracted. So I want to talk to you today about a story that's actually coming out of the Bible that I think is a great illustration. And I want to talk about it from a practical standpoint and then from a spiritual standpoint. So the story is, and you see we got a lake behind us here, the disciples are out in a boat moving from one side of a sea to another. They're by themselves. Jesus decided to stay back on shore. And it's about the middle of the night, and all of a sudden, they see Jesus walking on the water coming out to them. Now, one of the disciples, Peter, who's super spontaneous, super impulsive, calls out and he says, "Lord, if it's you, let me come out on the sea and walk to you and come to you." And Jesus says, "Okay, Peter, come on out." And Peter gets up out of the boat and he starts to walk on the water toward Jesus. And an interesting thing happens. As long as he's focused on Jesus, his destination, his goal, he continues to walk on the water. But because the waves are high and the wind's blowing and it's dark and it's scary, he takes his attention at some point off of his destination and focuses on the circumstances. And as a result, he loses his momentum and he begins to sink. And he's totally pulled off from his destination because he turned his attention from his goal, from his vision. He put it on the circumstances, he put it on the challenges and the difficulties. He said, hey, there's no way that I should be doing this. And as a result, he failed. And if we want to be successful at anything, it's locking down on where we want to go and turning off all the voices, all the challenges, all the difficulties that come out against us, and everything that tries to distract us and pull us off course. Because where our focus goes, our energy flows, and that's where we move. And when we are myopically focused on the things that we want, we're going to get there. But when we are challenged or we have obstacles or the negative voices from either ourselves or other people come up, if we pay attention to that, even for a little bit, it's going to derail us and pull us off track. So we have to have mental discipline. We have to have single-mindedness to get to where we want to go and to refuse to pull off of that. So there's a deeper issue here, and that's from the spiritual side. And the spiritual side is obviously, you know, we're dealing with Jesus and the disciples. Jesus says one word to Peter. He said, "Come." And there was enough power in that one word from God to literally change reality. Peter made the request, which I think is the coolest thing. Peter is making the request here. It's not Jesus. Peter said, "This is what I want." And Jesus honors that. And Jesus responds with his word. And that one word allows Peter to get out of the boat and defy physics and to literally create his own reality. And as long as Peter was focused on the word, he was successful. But when he turned his attention onto the circumstances, he sank. And it changed the outcome. You know, Peter's reality went from a desired outcome to an undesired outcome simply because of his focus. And when we get a word from God, right, when we get that promise from him, we need to lock down on it. We need to shut everything else off and exclude it and pay no attention to it, because that word from God is the truth in the situation. And it's going to give you all the power. It's going to give you all the encouragement. It's going to give you everything you need to walk through any challenge, any circumstance, and you're going to be able to create the reality that you desire. That is God's promise to us. What's up to us is to lock down on that and refuse to give anything else attention. And I know a lot of times people are afraid to put themselves out there, but that's what faith is about. Faith is about going off of the unseen, believing what God has said, and allowing that to propel us through situations and circumstances regardless of what's going on. And faith gives us the power to be able to do that. But as soon as that fear and that worry and that doubt attack us, if we pay attention to that, it's going to pull us off track, and our reality is going to go the opposite direction. So we can literally create the reality we desire by locking onto God's promise for us, holding fast to that, and moving through it. And even if we don't get to our destination, at least we're going to go out believing and in a state of faith. But I'll tell you what, when you lock on to God's word, it is a sure thing. You can count on it, and you just walk through the circumstances holding on to it, because it will allow you to do the impossible. Just like Peter walking on water, when you hold on to that word and you don't take your attention off of it, you can defy natural law, you can walk through any challenge in any situation, and you can achieve anything you want to, regardless of how big or small it is, because you are hooked on to the most powerful thing in the universe. So this is Tim from the LV, from a practical standpoint, saying, you know, keep your focus on where you want to go. Don't let it get derailed and pay attention to anything else. And from a faith-based perspective, when you lock onto God's word, look out, because you are going to change the course of nature. You're going to do the impossible, and it is going to just be awesome. Hope you found this helpful. Continue to kill it. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.